It is the 10th day of August 2023 and you're just in time for another edition of News Now. Well, we have so much lined up for you on our bulletin this afternoon. Remember, you can always interact with us on our social media handles indicated at the bottom of your screen. Now, with that said, my name is Dennis Otieno. I trust you're doing well. Welcome to the broadcast. Now on to our top story this afternoon. Controversial preacher Paul Mackenzie and his co-accused persons will remain in police custody for 47 more days. However, Mackenzie's lawyer, Wycliffe Makasembo, has dismissed the application, saying the prosecution has failed to charge his clients. Take a look.
The state for extension of custodial orders is allowed to the extent that the first to 17th respondents in 77 of 2023, all the respondents in 101 of 2023, with the exception of the 7th respondent who is since deceased, and the respondent in 130 of 2023 shall be remanded in custody for a further period not exceeding 47 days from 2nd August 2023. B. The National Secretary of Probation and Aftercare Services is hereby directed to conduct and cause to be submitted to court within 30 days from today social inquiry reports on each of the respondents, with the exception of the 7th respondent in 101 of 2023 who is deceased. C. The officers in charge of Shimolatewa, Kilifi, and Malindi GK prisons are hereby ordered to grant access to the investigators herein at the said facilities for purposes of conducting further interviews and recording statements. D. The prayer for additional advocates by the National Legal Aid Service is declined since the respondents are already represented by counsel, and as already indicated, it has not been demonstrated that substantial injustice is likely to occur if they are not accorded such further representation.
Now, from the corridors of justice to matters health, the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council has closed down 44 health facilities in Nakuru County. Now, according to the council, the 44 facilities did not comply with the council's orders, leading to their closure. The council says some facilities were unlicensed, while others were not offering the requisite services. The closure of the facilities follows a raid in the area on Wednesday, during which 6 people were arrested.
Oh my. We have been undertaking a compliance inspection across the county to find out whether all the providers are registered, the facilities are compliant. And I would want to say that as of yesterday evening, we had visited over 260 health facilities of various categories. And out of this, we have found 44 that were not compliant to the standards that have been set. And these 44 have actually already been closed. In addition, we found another 16 that were found not compliant to some of the standards. And the sections that were found non-compliant have also been closed in those facilities. So these ones we say we have done what we call partial closure. As we also inspected, we found 6 persons who are providing services and they are neither registered or licensed to provide health services. So basically, they are not health workers or what you would call out here quacks. And this, working together with the police department, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, we have had those persons arrested and they will be brought before court very soon.
Now, Matungulu Member of Parliament Stephen Mule has called on Inspector General of Police Japheth Kome to give Kenyans clear information of the hiring of dead bodies that he claims were used by the opposition in order to accuse the police of extrajudicial killings. He has called on Kome to make public the names of those who allegedly hired the dead bodies. The Matungulu legislator added that the promulgation of the Constitution in 2010 ushered a new era of democracy, accusing Kome of taking the country back to the dark days.
Publicly indicating that when Kenyans demonstrated peacefully, some of the leaders went to hire cops from mortuaries. You are in charge of a very huge docket called police. as Honorable Mheshimiwa Mule, I want to demand today, please give us the names of those who hired the cops, the names of those who were hired when they were dead, and the mortuaries which the dead were picked. Kenyans, you are not fool. We are going to remind you, you have a duty to protect Kenyans, not to kill Kenyans. We passed 2010 Constitution to allow this country to be democratic. And don't imagine because you are IG, you are going to take us back to the dark days. Give us the names. We deal with the perpetrators of hiring cops. You have not even told us how Kenyans were killed in Shakahola. When we wanted to go there as leadership, you blocked us. You may be the killer. And we want to be firm as Kenyans. We have decided we require a peaceful country. That's why we have agreed on peace talks to start today.
Elsewhere, transport has been paralyzed along the Devki-Kinanie-Joska Road in Machakos County after angry residents barricaded the road at Kinanie Shopping Center, interrupting transport on the busy road. Now, hundreds of demonstrators, who included residents, traders and border operators, blocked the road and engaged police officers in running battles, citing the poor condition of the road. Now, residents say the dust on the road poses health risks and is to blame for the swelling numbers of road carnage in the area.
Mingi sana ya vumbi kama wanabiashara na shule ambao iko katika area yetu, magari yamekuwa yakibeba pozolana kutoka location jirani ya Ngelani, ambapo wametengeneza barabara na wakaharibu barabara pande ya kwao, na sasa wamehamia pande ya Kinanie ambapo wanaendelea kuharibu biashara na wanaendelea kuharibu barabara.
Na kama vile mnaona hapa kukaliki, kazi zetu hazifanyiki. Tunauza manguo, tunauza miti, lakini hakuna mtu ananunua sababu vumbi imejaa. Tunakoa usiku na mchana. Tafadhali tunaomba hii message ifikie gavana wetu Wavinya Ndeti ambaye ni jirani yetu. Sisi tunaumia. Tunaenda hospitali kila siku sababu ya hii vumbi. Tafadhali tunaomba.
Hakuna vile tutaendelea kuumia na gavana ako hapa nyumbani kwetu. Na leo sisi tunasema leo tutaondoka hapa gavana akifika naweza kusuluhisha shida ya vumbi ambayo iko hapa hivi. Pale Kinanie Primary tutaenda hapo saa hii. Stream mzima watoto wamehama sababu darasa imejaa vumbi. So tunataka kujua sisi watu wa Kinanie, sisi ni wa serikali gani na ni nani tutalilia kilio chetu kisikike.
Serikali iingilie katikati, itusaidie, itumwagie maji ama itutengenezee tu barabara ama hizo lori zionyeshwe njia nyingine zipite.
Tunauzia customer boga, wanaanza kulia tumbo. Boga zetu haziendi jamani. Tutafanya nini?
Now, the Senate Health Committee on Thursday received oral submissions on the Community Health Services Bill 2023, which seeks to recruit community health promoters on permanent and pensionable terms. Appearing before the committee, Health Principal Secretary Harry Kimutai urged the committee to review the Primary Healthcare Bill, which provides a potential avenue to address some of the problems affecting the country's community health promoters. Some of the issues highlighted in the bill include recruitment and stipends for the community health promoters, establishment of community health units, and referral mechanisms.
Or community health promoter is selected by a community through a public participation forum and appointed by the county government. The criteria of recruiting the community health promoters is clearly outlined in the Kenya Community Health Policy. The Primary Healthcare Bill has been forwarded to the National Assembly Department Committee of Health for their concurrence and introduction as a bill in the National Assembly so that it becomes a committee bill.
The aim of the bill is to ensure that we are providing healthcare services as close to the people as possible so that people, one, don't have to incur additional cost going to a level 4 for a service that could have been offered at level 1. For example, maybe screening for BP that can already be done at level 1 and people don't have to travel, all the way to a level 4. They just need to go to the level 4 after the BP is taken and it's found to be high. So they're just going there for a referral service.
Not to sound like there's sibling rivalry between us and the lower house, of course, but then I'm just wondering, I think we were the right forum within which to be seized of this particular bill.
Meanwhile, the first alcohol, drug and substance abuse screening exercise under the Office of the Spouse of the Deputy President, OSDP, took place at the Riruta Stadium in Dagoretti constituency, Nairobi County, and demonstrated the dire need to reach out to those suffering from different addictions. The two-day screening exercise on Tuesday and Wednesday attracted approximately 700 participants as well as partners from different sectors. The participants had sessions with counselors and psychologists where 90% of those screened were at dependency level of the substances and needed admissions and other interventions.
We have been able, through a whole battery of counselors and psychiatrists, who have been able to sit down and have a one-on-one engagement with the lovely gentlemen, being able to take them through what are their various initiatives that they have taken towards maybe trying to understand what they're going through. It has been great engagements, even as the dear counselors have been able to screen. And through that screening, we realized that for the 2 days, about 90% are at dependency and 10% are not on that side. So I must say that this initiative will give us a better perspective of ensuring that the lovely gentlemen have a holistic approach of the same.
Actually, we needed to do admissions to some of them, and we also needed to do some fasting to some of those people who have not gone deeply into addiction.
Hata mimi nilikuwa mmoja wao, lakini nikakuja nikareform. Sasa mimi siwezi taka vijana wapotelee mtaani. Juu siwezi taka kuona kijana akipotelea mtaani, na hapo ndio nimepitia.
All we want is to see productive boys and men who have gotten out of this menace and are now earning income for themselves and supporting their families and engaging positively in the community, and then at national level we are all winning.
Now, teachers and parents in Nakuru County are taking stock of the gains made since the inception of the competence-based curriculum CBC. This comes amid intensified calls for continuous training of teachers for efficiency, as values are best instilled through examples and demonstrations in the pupils' day-to-day activities. Chichi Josephine tells us more.
During a display of innovative skills and dramatization of values and ethics by grade 3 pupils was the highlight of the day-long exhibition at the Rose Academy in Nakuru. Through the exciting presentations, one message was clear: corruption, negative ethnicity, and lawlessness are common due to a breakdown of the moral fabric.
Remember to teach your children with moral values. And what you have learned in CBC is good because it teaches us about being respect.
The head teacher at the school, Mr. Collins Odhiambo, says that the best time to inculcate moral values into a society's people is during their childhood, where they are trained to shun vices and messages that promote ethnicity, nudity and violence.
We have had an exhibition. The theme of this year's project was developing and nurturing the moral values in our learners for an ethical society. This is just the start. I know that nurturing is a process. So once we've developed these morals, it's now the responsibility of all of us, both the parents and the institution as a whole, to ensure that we nurture these moral values so that when our learners will be exiting from our institution, they'll be upright citizens who will be very responsible and useful to the society.
Parents observed that there is need for continuous building of the teachers' capacity to inculcate values into young learners amid the dynamic social trends driven by the increasingly fast technological advancement.
Very happy with CBC and what the school is doing. We really appreciate, we've seen they are learning moral values, things that we teach at home, they are being also taught at school. We really appreciate and we echo CBC and we pray that it goes a higher level.
Teachers argues that CBC is key to innovation, as creativeness will see Kenya pass on to the world, behavior for a common good, and progressive technology and devices that will improve the quality of life among people.
I know very well that in this republic, the CBC has not been embraced by most of the schools, and it is the role of the government of Kenya to ensure that sensitization has been done and also the teachers have been retooled on the same, because this is a curriculum that is new to all of us and it is a curriculum that is superior than the 844.
There's no option now. CBC is the way to go. So I want to encourage all the schools, parents, teachers, everyone. We embrace CBC.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
You can look at them the way they are dressing and you can pick the mode of.
Well, thank you, Chichi Josephine, for that report. Now, moving on. Parents of children with disability in Kiambu County have been trained and economically empowered to combat emotional and financial stress, with most of them having struggled with stigma, as well as lack of government support that often results in psychological trauma. The parents will now be able to eke a living after they were trained on how to manufacture khaki packaging bags. Now, under the program organized by a non-governmental organization situated in Waitethye, Juja, Kiambu County, parents with disabled children are undertaking the free training which they are expected to pass on to all parents and guardians of persons with disabilities to give them an economic head start. Led by Juliet Mwaniki, who has been jobless for a decade while taking care of a child who has cerebral palsy, the parents said the training will go a long way in helping them venture into income-generating activities to support their families.
A program about tumekuja kuraunch. Yes, tumekuwa tukifanya kuempower the PWD ama mtu ambaye ako na disability. Anaweza kuwa disable ama mwenye anamwangalia kama caregiver. So tunawaempower, tunawafunza kutengeneza karatasi ya kaki. Na hii karatasi ya kaki ni ya kina packaging bags, envelopes, book covers, cake boxes, popcorn bags, envelopes, even the church envelope. Na hii yote tunafanya na mkono. Ndio maana tukasema leo to launch hiyo program, ndio tuweze kuempower them, ndio hata wao waweze kuempower the other community.
Kwa nyumba kwa miaka 10 kwa sababu nimekuwa nikitunza mtoto wangu ambaye ako na ulemavu wa cerebral palsy. Lakini sasa nikishajua kutengeneza makaratasi haya ambayo nitakuwa ninayatengenezea kwa nyumba, na hapo niko na mtoto wangu ninamwangalia, sina wasiwasi ati mtoto anaumizwa na mtu ama mtoto wangu anapatwa na jambo mbaya. Nitaweza kutengenezea makaratasi kwa nyumba na nitoke niende nitafute soko niuze, niweze kupata pesa zangu hata za kununulia mtoto dawa, hata kununua diapers.
I think it's a day that the Lord has made for me, because I've come for this training in Jamii products, where we have been trained on how to make packing bags, packing papers. I'm so excited about today. The training has been so successful. It is not very complex. It is something we can technically do. As we know, in our country, technical things are making people to earn. So we are so much pleased about the training today.
Now, from empowering women in Kiambu County to empowering the youth in Makueni County, where more than 93 trainees under the Ujuzi Teketeke program have finally been issued with startup kits in Makueni County. The program involves an 8-week youth life skills training initiative where learners are attached to established craftsmen and granted business tools upon completion. Some of the tools offered were sewing machines, outside catering support, and salon equipment. Governor Mutula Kilonzo Jr. says his government will continue launching programs through the Tetheka funding to ensure that the youth keep off crime and become self-reliant.
Waweze kujisaidia wenyewe, na kwa hivyo kwanza katika idara yetu ambayo inasimamia hawa vijana kwanza waliletwa katika mafunzo ili waonyeshwe ni njia gani wanaweza kutumia mashini hizi, lakini cha muhimu ni kuonyeshwa vile wanaweza kufanya biashara na mashini ambazo tumeziweka. Katika mwaka uliopita tulitenga ilikuwa milioni 20 kufanya kazi kama hii ili kuhakikisha vijana wetu wanapata ajira. Badala ya wao kutusumbua wakitafuta kazi ama tuwaandike, tumeanza mpango wa kuonyesha kwamba wanaweza kuwapatia mipango ambayo wanaweza wao wenyewe kujiwezesha. Ndio kwa sababu tuko na kitengo hiki, na nimeuliza idara ambayo inasimamia vijana waangalie, tufuatilie katika mipango hii ni wangapi ambao wanatengeneza pesa, ni kitengo kipi ambacho kinaendelea vizuri na kinadumishwa, na jambo muhimu kwa sababu tumetafuta na tuko na hela ambazo zinaweza kuwasaidia kupitia Tetheka.
Now to a sad turn of events in Kilifi County, where more than 24 elderly persons have lost their lives in Kilifi in less than 7 months over claims that they practice witchcraft. According to Julius Wanyama, an activist from the Haki Yetu organization, various stakeholders should put their heads together to end this nightmare. Now, this is happening while the stakeholders who protect the interests of the elderly in Kilifi County government launched a report that highlights in detail the challenges facing the elderly, especially due to claims of practicing witchcraft. Nema Baya is one of the victims of the tragedy and says that her husband was killed following claims that he was a sorcerer. Kilifi County Deputy Police Commander Willie Simba has pointed an accusing finger at families who have failed to come forward to testify when one of the family members is killed.
Kwa kweli ni juzi tu tulipata kwa mfano maeneo ya Ganze sub-county. Kutoka Januari mpaka sasa wameweza kupoteza wazee 17. Ukienda upande wa Kwale maeneo ya Zombo ward kutoka Januari mpaka sasa wamepoteza wazee 7. So unaona ni swala la kutatanisha. Na ndio maana kama shirika tuliona sisi peke yetu hatuwezi kupatiana suluhu kwa hili tatizo. Ndio maana leo tumeita wahusika na kila mhusika hapa ataweza kutuelezea ni nini atafanya ama ni nini anafanya ili kuona kwamba maisha ya wazee yanalindwa.
Siku ile atauliwa, kesho yake tuliongea na simu, tukazungumza, tukapatana. Asubuhi yake nikapigiwa simu, mzee wako ameuawa, ameambiwa amekatwa panga. Wale ukweli, baada ya kuwa nimekuja nilipata hizo fununu. Kuna jirani yetu hapo walikuwa wako na hizo shutuma za kuwa ni mchawi, lakini kusema ule ukweli, mtu akiwa mchawi huwa aidha kuna mtu ameumwa, amekufa, au kuna vitu ambazo anaongea ndo zinaashiria yeye ni mchawi. Maana huo mzozo ulitokea tu baada ya wiki moja, ni maneno tu madogo madogo ya kama kijamii.
Maafisa wa polisi wakati kitendo kinafanyika tunakuwa na shida. Tunaenda kwa ile family, tunataka information. Huyu mzee alikuwa na nani jana, ilikuwa hivi. Lakini utakuta wakati mwingi wale family hawapeani information. Family wanajifanya hawajui. Tukiwauliza ilifanyika nini, wanasema simanya.
And on the same breath, Game residents in Siaya County have condemned a recent incident where a member of the county assembly was stabbed at a funeral. Speaking in West Game Ward, the residents led by Collins Ongwen condemned the emerging trend where politicians disrupt funerals and called on leaders, both elected and non-elected, to respect not only the living but the dead. The leaders now want the MCA to apologize to the family of the late Stephen Apinda for turning a solemn occasion into a political forum.
Recent utterances by the Game MP with regards to the age of our party leader, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Elisha Odhiambo is earning salary courtesy of ODM party, where our party leader, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, is the leader, and he must show respect to that to the party leader and ensure that he is working according to the rules of the law. But if he feels that he cannot, he is no longer interested in matters of ODM, then we call upon him to quit ODM, come back with another party to seek re-election. Otherwise, the Game people are not going to take it kindly, the kind of disrespect that he's showing to the party leader, and we shall tell him to desist from that, or else we shall be with the people of Game, will not allow him to make such utterances anywhere else in Game again. Thank you.
Nimekuja kusema ya kwamba chenye ilitendeka kwa matanga ya Kapinda haikuwa kitu mzuri. Number 2, tunatoa hombolezo zetu kwa hao watu, kwa sababu sisi kama wanasiasa inatakikana kama tunaenda kwa matanga, tunatoa sala za rambirambi zetu, at least tukipeleka pesa hata sadaka kidogo ndio watumia hata kama ya mafuta na wasikie ya kwamba tuko nao.
I, as the chair, I would not like to see such action once again, and let our people who are elderly behave in an elderly manner, not just behaving like a child.
I'm not happy with the previous actions of our leaders within South Game. we must always be respectful wherever we are. We cannot show disrespect in wherever we go to. We must respect our people, we respect our leaders and the electorate.
Now, tuk-tuk owners in select counties will be required to register themselves under the Tuk-Tuk Operators Association in a movement to streamline the sector against rampant criminal activity. Mombasa County Commissioner Abdirasaq Jadesa says passengers are robbed by thieves disguised as tuk-tuk drivers, and to remedy this, the county will run a 1-month e-porch for them to be registered from the stage, sub-county and county levels.
Baada ya mwezi moja tutakuwa registered, wale wote ambao wanataka kuwa katika industry ya tuk-tuk watakuwa registered. Na watakuwa registered katika kiwango 3, katika stage, katika sub county na paka county. Na maana ya kuregister hawa ni kwa sababu kuna watu wengi ambao sio wazuri, pengine ni wahalifu na wameingia katika industry ya tuk-tuk. Tuk-tuk katika Mombasa ni karibu 17,000 na ni watu wengi sana, na kama hatuwezi regularize itakuwa ni shida sana, kwa sababu watu wahalifu wataingia, watu wabaya wataingia, na tumepata complaint kutoka wananchi. Kwa hivyo nashukuru viongozi wote tumekuja on board ili tuweze ku streamline operation ya tuk-tuk ili iweze kusaidia wananchi, ili iweze kusaidia mambo ya amani, na pia tuboreshe mambo ya uchukuzi katika kaunti yetu ya Mombasa, kwa sababu ni sekta kubwa ambayo hatuwezi kuignore, na ni sekta kubwa ambayo inataka mambo mengi ya kuwe ilainishwe vizuri. Kwa hivyo ni mkutano wa kwanza, kutoka hapa tutaenda katika sub county zote 6 na tutaeleza wale wengine, kwa sababu lazima tukuwe na public participation. Tutaeleza wale wako kwa stages na viongozi wao ili waweze kusajili.
Unaendesha tuk-tuk na utaki ujulikane unaendesha tuk-tuk, hapo itakuwa labda uko na sababu zako za kimsingi upande wako, lakini so far so good. Mkutano imekuwa mzuri na nafikiri tutaboresha county na usalama ya driver mwenye tuk-tuk na yule abiria anayebebwa na yule abiria anayotembea.
Now, on that note, we get to call it a wrap on News Now. But remember, for this and other stories, you can always log on to our website, that is tv47.digital. Also, be